two easiest smart plans that you could possibly use that everybody should be on. They're going to be a monthly neighborhood nurture and a quarterly call plan. If you aren't doing those two and you're not making the phone calls for your quarterly call plan, you don't get the opportunity to move on to personal smart plans.
Hey guys, it's Brittany. I'm a real estate agent, coach, and investor, and I'm here to make real estate easy for you. And every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I do just that. I bring you a weekly workshop where you can come live, ask your questions. We do hands-on training that are designed to help you move your business forward. I am a productivity coach, and that's exactly what I try to do. I help get you into production. I want to make sure you're getting the best value out of this, so join me every Monday where you can catch us live. So right now, let's jump into this week's topic. All right, welcome. Today I have our special guest with us, Candace Young. Candace is the lead tech trainer in our area, and she is everything command tech extraordinaire. I am very tech savvy, command savvy, and it's all because of her. Because when I first got started, we were diving into command and she was doing a bunch of the trainings, and there were many times where I was the only one.
It's very true.
So I got one-on-one personalized help, and now I would say I'm pretty good, nowhere near as good as Candace.
I think you're right there, girl, if not more, because you're using it so often, especially with practicing real estate as well.
Well,
so, yeah.
I just saw a sneak peek of what you're going to show us today, and I don't know how to do that, so I'm excited. All right, so today what it's going to be is like a little Q&A, and I've already told Candace a couple of the things that I get a lot of questions about. So I'm gonna kind of hand it over to her to dive in, and then as she goes, I'm gonna say, okay, let's stop and let me ask questions, or let me clarify, or let me say, this is how I would do it. Is this, so that it can kind of, you guys can get the same idea of how it might work in your business. So with that, Candace, you have the floor.
Okay, awesome. So there are a few things, starting with like websites. That's one question I know Brittany was bringing up, and like, okay, where do we go? What's the process like? Just a little bit of background on our agent sites. We've recently gone through essentially a conversion, and some of it still may be happening right now, but essentially our cutoff was August 15th. And we said they're new sites, and actually they'd been around since about September, October of last year, and it was basically like an optional upgrade. So everybody had the opportunity to kind of like step in the waters and test it out at their own leisure, as different features were being introduced that maybe we had in our older platform. So with that, I think now I can, oh, you already shared for me, perfect.
Yeah, you're all ready to go.
So you have your new agent sites, which of course are just meant to be something simple and easy for you to use, that are focusing specifically on agent search. Okay, or not agent search, sorry, say agent, your client's property search. So you'll notice everything in here is focused forefront right there on searching for homes. Now, all of that's included in what you already pay for your office, your monthly dues, and you get your IDX website in here included, which is usually pretty big cost savings. Most places I want to say are about $50 I've seen, if not a whole lot more, plus whatever you're having to host it on. So while we realize this might not be the solution for everyone, because everybody has a different personal feel, this hopefully is going to be a good start for you to go ahead and start leveraging this, and that all of the leads go directly into command. Everything pushes you as the agent, not us as Keller Williams. Your lead is becoming your lead, truly, rather than, getting a split off the top between your office and, whomever. So, want to take you through here. Of course, we have your search right up front. You're going to notice that you have a section to host your testimonials from your clients. And how do you even get those testimonials? Well, you already have a built-in page that is considered a leave a review. So you're going to be able to automatically capture all those. We can talk about smart plans a little bit later and how you might want to gather some additional reviews. Thank you for filling in there. And feature that right there at the center. Now, one of the components that everyone was asking for, and part of why we went to this new platform, was so that our agents could do blogging, right? Your blog gives the opportunity for you to actually showcase yourself as the expert of choice for your local area. So this is where you really want to spend time if you're going to use it in really showcasing yourself, the areas in your neighborhood, the local businesses, really having that place to show people why they should love and live where you work, right? So this is where you're going to be able to feature your blog content right there. You can organize it and otherwise. But you also have some default content in there for you on buyers that's always ready, so it doesn't look completely naked when you first start out, though personalizing is going to... Bells.
Jingle bells.
There we go. And then, of course, those calls to action right there at the bottom in order to get in contact with you. And the lead flows directly from here into your command profile, allowing you to be able to, get your notification. You get it on, I got it on my watch, I get it on my phone, anywhere I'm logged into my command mobile app. So we'll go in, let's take a little bit underneath the About Me section, which is all going to be fed from your marketing profile within Command as well. But you're also going to have a My Preferred Vendor section. Now, mine's a little weak right now, but you can add in your preferred vendors for your business. So this isn't always necessarily even just limited to your vendors that you use on your actual transaction for your home, right? Which we might have home inspectors, plumbers, carpenters, things like that. You either have other categories, I believe like cosmetologist, barber, things like that, where you can start kind of curating a list of the local amenities essentially that your clients may choose to use. Now, check with your broker and see as far as what they want with your vendor, or not vendors, but with your lenders and some of your home services for your transaction. Generally, you're going to want to give 2 to 3 as options, right? And sometimes the businesses may offer like incentive, like you got a coupon off or something, things like that. So it's a chance for you to really start building your own network, right? And using that as a chance to have that business to business communication. Hey, I'd love to feature you on my website, and have some of those conversations and pop them right in. So we'll go through a little bit more and then show you where we can go and actually personalize some of this information. Any questions thus far?
I do have something just to throw in there. I think that as we're going, I feel like it'll be good. Okay, maybe we should just take these down. As we're going, I feel like it would be good for us to just talk through how would I use this in my business? So a couple of things that really jumped out at me. First and foremost were some of these things like my preferred vendors. I love this because this is actually one of the ways that I would go and, like Candace was saying, the business to business. I would go and say, hey, I'm doing a giveaway, or I'm doing something related to this event. I want to do a client thing, but I don't necessarily have the funds to give $500 gift cards to these restaurants or something like that. Do you have something that we can connect together and we can partner together? And now this is such an easy way to say, I have this preferred vendor list. You would be on my preferred vendor list. Easy. I love that. Very professional looking and like a nice way to just easily add people into your business. The second thing I was going to just add was the blog. With the blog, don't think of it as just exclusively a blog. If you're like, I don't write blogs, this is not what I do. That's me. I'm not I don't write blogs. But what do? I do lots of videos. And so I can actually embed videos into the blogs.
Like your market update.
You can do your market update. You can do even the market update visuals that the office sends out. You can put those on there. You can embed images into it. So those.
Can you embed YouTube?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can actually embed the video in there in a little player.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So I was going to say, going along that with Brittany's, and I'm pretty sure you already do this, you generally have a video, you have almost an article that has basically what you're already talking about in a read format, and then being able to share that in other components, whether it's her mailers out to clients or agents, right? And then it all funnels back. So you're doing one piece of content essentially, putting it on a blog on your site, and then you're just sharing that everywhere,
And
socials
also,
and all of it.
the way you're talking about it sounds like a lot of work. I use ChatGPT.
Yep.
And I say, so I get the transcript. So like after this, we'll have the transcript of what has gone on. And I copy and paste it into ChatGPT and I say, give me a summary.
Yep.
Give it to me in blog form. Give it to me as a social media post. And I just take copy and paste and put it all over everything and say, I'm done. Done with that. Check it off the list. So there are a lot of ways that you can do this, and like time-saving things. It's, you know, you don't have to be a super professional in this and like, you know, have gone to school for years and years. It's just get in there and start playing with it.
Yep, and you have so many resources like ChatGPT, which is phenomenal for writing content. A lot of the email, like even stuff based on our area, I'm like, hey, what events are going on in the Oxnard area? Tell me about this and the events, and write it in a email content, blog format. And then, of course, you always just want to give it a once-over and a proofread, make sure it's looking good, feels like you. But you can do all this and just leverage AI, ChatGPT. You can even, we have KWIQ built into command where you can say, hey, write me a blog post on why buyers, you know, should use an agent. Bum, 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 bum. It's going to come up with a bunch of information for you too. So you don't have to overthink it, just like Brittany said. We can get real excited and go into RPR and their market updates, summaries, and all those little goodies. We have our preferred vendors, our link to. Let's just take a little look into the search. Well, we'll go into more and then we'll end on search for property so we can show you something there. You have a couple quick pages that you're going to be able to create in our expert mode, which we'll show you within agent sites. And it literally takes like 3 clicks and you can create the mortgage calculator and a what's my home worth page. Now this what's my home worth, right? Once I have a page built out, I'm going to have the opportunity to use this in so many different formats and share this link in different ways, whether it's in a smart plan, maybe an ad, right, that I'm running on Facebook. Lots of other ways that we can kind of push this out once I have a page built.
You can generate a QR code for that.
Exactly. If you're using Chrome, just while we're talking about that, your 3 little dots, if you do this save and share, there is an option to create a QR code right there. And you can...
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. Okay. So you
Worth the price of admission.
There you go. It's actually, and it's not showing on my...
Oh, because I just shared that.
Because it's just showing. But yeah, it shows right there on my screen. You have your QR code. You can save and download that. There's a dinosaur in the middle. You can put a little image over that, and it still works. Just make sure you don't cover any of the dots. So yes, you can use that little save and share option, and you'll get your QR code for your page, which you can have your slapped right on your sign if you want there with a little sign writer. Find out your own home value, whatever that may be. Okay. So let's actually just show you kind of what this looks like. Anybody want to give me a property, maybe they saw on Caravan or a listing or something, or your own home address, doesn't matter, whatever. There we go. Let's go. And we are going to pretend to be, who do we want to be today? Thank you. Not that creative. Okay, and we're gonna do Bugs Bunny at mailinator.com. And I don't think I have to enter in my phone number. We'll hit get valuation. I think I do. There we go. So, gives the little valuation. We might say this is similar to some other competitor's site and what they might do. But we get our little valuation for the property. And it's already set the lead information to myself, but then it says, hey, if I want to like send any additional details or anything like that, I can go ahead and hit send message and it'll put in whatever I conclude there. If the property happens to be in an area where it doesn't really happen so much here where it's prohibited from sharing evaluation, but if it doesn't have enough data to support evaluation, you'll get actually little errors saying basically just that. Hey, we can't come up with a good value for you right now based off of some of the information. However, we'd love for you to connect with Candace Young here and get a personalized property valuation, right?
We'll jump back into the workshop in just a minute, but if you're getting value out of this, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're interested in getting a real estate freebie, click on the link below and submit your contact info, and I'll send you out something that's guaranteed to move your business forward. In the meantime, let's jump back into the video. And I know, but I'm asking anyway.
Yes.
Once this comes in, you can connect it then to a smart plan, right?
Absolutely. So this is going to come in as a lead source, which is, I think it's KW site valuation, if I'm correct. It'll be listed there. And you can pair that with a rule, a routing rule, to then auto put people on a smart plan, or just use a tag trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can say it can come in as the lead source and say anybody who comes in as this lead source, automatically put them as this tag, and that can be a tag trigger for a smart plan?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and it'll kick off whatever communication plan you either have selected from the smart plan library or you build out yourself.
A random question
Yes.
on smart plans. I just put myself on one to see what it would look like before I sent it out, and it comes at like 2 a.m. Is there a way to change that or no?
Double check your timing inside of your settings. You can set what time zone you're in, which should prevent it from sending at the crazy odd hours, and help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I get mine, most of mine I think come in the late afternoon. I have to look at mine. But yes. So.
And while she's doing this, just a reminder that Command works best on Chrome. If you're on Safari and you're having issues with it glitching or whatever, switch over to Chrome and you should fix that.
So I'm inside of my command. I had my notifications here along the top, and now we have our valuation, as we see, for Bugs Bunny. He was a new lead. We can go in and hit View Contact, and we're going to see the notes here along the left-hand side. Ooh. And brand new feature that has not even been released.
I was just going to say, oh.
This might be behind a beta wall that they just released to me, so just ignore that for right now. This is the joy of, brand new. I saw somebody on Slack real quick say something about it, and I was like, I don't have time yet. So perfect. You're getting a sneak peek at what might be there. A summary of the contacts record, I'm assuming here. Mm-hmm. But anywho, right below is what you will see inside of your command currently. And you're going to see the notes for that contact, which is Bugs Bunny, his valuation. And you'll also be able to see, of course, if, it wasn't able to provide one, still which property it was based on and why it couldn't prevent, missing information or otherwise. So you won't see a price range. So we have Mr. Bugs Bunny here, and we're going to, where do we want to take us right now? I kind of want to go back to our properties, featured properties, and I think I will do that, or search properties. So while we're talking about different ways to collect leads and share, whether it's a home valuation page or other ways, a lot can be centered around our search. Right? Our property search. And whether you're doing ads or maybe calls to action to check homes maybe within a certain price range, or a list of open houses that are going to be coming, you can use your site to support that. So what do I mean? Well, if we go to our search properties here, and you can do it from, of course, the home page and that first little bubble. But I'm in Austin at the moment since I have my location turned off, but we will center ourselves here in Oxnard and start building out kind of a search string for what we want to take a look at. Now, when I put in Oxnard, and maybe, let's get a little bit more, let's go with River Park specifically. So I'm just going to type in River Park. There we go. It's going to get me a little bit closer. And we have neighborhood boundaries that actually come from next door. So these might not line up with the track codes and neighborhoods that we know them to be inside of the MLS, but this is what community members that are on Nextdoor, this is the neighborhoods that they see, and that essentially they've raised their hand as a community and been like, hey, I second this, you second that, we're now gonna be River Park here. Gets a little tricky when we go to Ojai. Like Arbolada is a huge chunk, which is not the Arbolada. But anywho.
That's from next door, you said?
Yeah, next door boundaries. Yeah. So when we're building our view or our search here, we can get a little creative. So I can take a look. Let's see here. Let's take a look at let's see here, open houses. And there's only one result on that one. Let me do price reduced. I know that there's been a lot of price reductions lately. No results, great. At least the ones that hit my search criteria have been a lot of search results. We'll just go with our open house then for that. So I'll show one, and it's gonna see just within this particular territory, we have one open house. But if I didn't limit it to River Park, and maybe we just did the city of Oxnard, I could essentially create a list of homes that I can then share out and say, hey, contact me for a list of open houses this next weekend. Let's do Oxnard.
I feel like this is nice for us as agents and to share with people.
Yes. So there you go. We're looking at all of Oxnard City and the open houses that are currently scheduled, and we'll see our little bubbles in the top corner for the Sunday 1 to 4 otherwise. Now, this link or this search that we've created here is dynamic. So it's always going to be pulling anything that is currently showing an upcoming open house and is within the city of Oxnard. So I can save this link essentially once and continue to share it out in whatever marketing, create the QR code for it or otherwise. And it's always gonna bring people back to my page and whatever current search results are here. So this comes in, it's hard not to jump ahead. But if you're gonna be doing Facebook ads or something and you want a list of, homes in Oxnard with recent price reductions or, tour open homes this weekend, you have lists like this, or to set it up for maybe, like we said earlier, homes within a given price range, right? We're gonna do homes under $950 with an open house and change our criteria there. If we take a look at any one of these properties, you're gonna get all the lovely little details. Love that spiral staircase. All the details there about the property, your calls to action back to you. You're also gonna see how many activity or views there have been, saves or shares, within or for that property, not only just across your site, but across Keller Williams as well. So using our platform, basically how many people have used that in order to view this property. Your upcoming open houses, your calculator, essentially as far as your home price and home payment, which is editable. You can put in your details here. Your price and tax history, and then some other neighborhoods for you to explore. Now, let's go ahead and I'm actually going to, you're showing my whole desktop, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to do an incognito window real quick. And we are going to do our own open house on this property this weekend. Okay? So trying to see, it's not ours, but we're going to still use it as an example. So here within your property, once you've searched for the home you're doing your open house on your own agent site, which anytime you're sharing property, I see people post like a link from the MLS or from some, I hate when I see the Zillow link. Share your own listing from your own site, please, please. It all leads back to you. But anywho, you're gonna search for the property on your own site. When you come up here to the search bar, you're gonna go ahead and do a /, type in open, I think type in there. Nope, they've changed that. Sorry. Open house. There we go. It'll take just a second, all one word. Aha, there we go.
Dun, 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 dun.
You get a sign-in page for your open house. So, this page, of course, we can use our cool little trick to do a QR code. I don't know how advanced I want to go with that, but I mean, if you have a standing URL that you're just pointing at this, and then you can have one QR code that you're using for all of your open houses. But essentially, you can have a quick green sign-in form, right, with the information right here on the page. So we're going to use Bugs Bunny again. And I think this one is the one. Yeah, I do. We're going to do, he's going to be from 818 today. And we can submit our sign in and login for that open house property page. So it's going to give information they can scan to continue this on their own personal device. So if I had my iPad there at the front, this is an option. Or we do the sign in at, QR code to scan and sign in yourself. But then they can continue to view this property and get the details about it, going green, saving the environment one flyer at a time. This then, if we go back to our Bugs Bunny, he should get some additional, unless I had a typo in his address, which I did. Duplicate there. So there's Bugs Bunny, since I used one with an EY and the other with a Y. But we have his lead source open house and the property that they were registered in. So just like we set up a potential lead rule to handle anybody that comes in from this open house and put them on a smart plan, we get to do that same functionality here, right? There's a lot of capability and goodies that are built in. Now, questions on what we've kind of seen covered, or ideas, things that you're going to try and implement?
You just have to have a separate service on your wireless service on your iPad or hotspot from your phone.
Yeah, hotspot. I pretty much do hotspot.
Okay.
Yeah. Comments, Brittany?
I do have a comment, just because people are going to ask about the new NAR stuff and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is not going to take the place of that, but that OHNA form is optional. So, of course, talk with your broker and all of that, of what they want to do and what they want you to do, but you don't have to have it, so this can replace it. What I love about this is I love that it comes in as the property and you can click on it. So if you're like, when did I do that open house? What open house was that? I don't even remember. You click on it and it goes straight to the property. I mean, this is me. I'm like, what did I opened? Exactly. I did that open house? What? And so if I go to that, I can be like, oh, and now I can take this and maybe set up an MLS strip, or maybe set up a saved search in command for them that they can see more houses just like this, because I'm able to see this was the open house that they're interested in, that they want to see. So I really like that feature, that you can just click right to that listing.
Yeah, and that really goes for as they start creating accounts or being prompted to sign up to create an account on your page. They're going to start having the ability to start interacting with the listings, whether they not star them, but heart them, share them, or otherwise, and you're going to see the activity for which properties they're clicking on, which ones they like, and see all that activity inside of their contact record. If it's their first time visiting your agent site too, there is going to be a pop-up that shows having them indicate where they are as far as country-wise, because we have different laws that prohibit some tracking and otherwise depending on where they're at. So if they're within the US, you're basically golden. If they're in a few other areas, might not have you know, some additional information like the UK and such, as far as like cookies to help them. So let me go ahead and just create a quick search here. We want to look, do we want to go Oxnard? Let's actually use the map feature and look for a beach house real quick. And I'm going to look anywhere near my neck of the woods over there. And I only want my drawn area. Oops, there we go. Draw that one more time. And I want at least a 2-bedroom, 3-bath. Apply. And, ooh, I like this home. I'm gonna look at it as the consumer. I'm gonna say I love it, and it's gonna say, hey, do I wanna log in or sign up? Now, I have mine, just because I do a lot of demos on here, set to no restrictions on how many properties they can view. You have the ability to set what limit and how many properties they can view before they're prompted to sign up. So mine, only unless they go to save something. You're gonna have, I believe it's 2, 10, and unlimited, I believe, or 0, on how many properties they can view. Everybody has a different school of thought. Some like absolutely nothing. I need you to sign up immediately when you try to look at a property. Others, you get a free look, right? Look at a couple, once get you hooked, then I might have you sign in. So we're gonna jump in here real quick. And they probably don't match. Do not make passwords like this for real things. This is the PSA. There we go. If you guys want to jump in and use that as a demo account, feel free. But anywho, there we go. This is our property now. We're going to just hit our save now that we created our account. And let's click a few other things. Let's say that I want to, we're going to go back, explore Silver Strand, and ooh, another home. Take a quick look. Love it. Great. Now, they actually even have on your desktop version, you have the ability to compare properties side by side. So your clients can, there we go, compare the details about the 2 homes that they're looking for side by side. Fun little feature for them to use if they're at a desktop. Currently not yet available, I believe, on mobile app. But you do have that feature, and I believe you're allowed up to 5 homes, if I'm correct, on the properties that you're going to be able to compare side by side. Now let's take a look from our agent perspective, what that looks like. And we'll just use our little icon here at the top. We saw Bugs Bunny logged in. I also had his new registration that showed right before, because this time he actually created an account. So he wasn't just a lead, but he actually saved and registered with me. So his contact record now not only shows a lead, but he also has that green check mark, which means he is connected, registered to me, and has an account. So I can start seeing all of his great little activity here along the side. Those properties that he favorited, those listings there, the neighborhood, and start taking a look at his activity. Now, in order to kind of support him, I have a couple different things. We're going to go with our smart plans route, because we're all eager to know how we can use smart plans, and the 2 easiest smart plans that you could possibly use that everybody should be on. They're going to be a monthly neighborhood nurture and a quarterly call plan. If you aren't doing those 2 and you're not making the phone calls for your quarterly call plan, you don't get the opportunity to move on to personal smart plans, okay? we want you to make sure you're using your quarterly call and your monthly neighborhood nurture. But in order to do that, I need to give it a little bit of information. Now, this contact doesn't have a primary neighborhood. If he did, right, if it's one of my contacts, maybe I imported from my phone, my personal database, I likely already have a primary address, and it's going to automatically assign him a neighborhood of interest. I can tell based off of this guy's search criteria here, coastal homes are his thing, right? So I'm gonna come in and hit add a neighborhood so I have data for it to pull from. I'm gonna hit the find on map and attempt to type again and do my Silver Strand section here. So select my Silver Strand neighborhood, maybe Hollywood Beach, and give it a few areas for it to gather information from. I'm gonna add those neighborhoods of interest to his profile. If you do know the contact, right, and Bugs Bunny and I, we have a good relationship, I've known him for some time, and I know that he's looking in the Oxnard area here, but he also wants to have a vacation home in like Bainbridge Island, right? Because we have our network of IDX across the entire country, you actually have the opportunity to add an additional neighborhood, and even on the search on your sites, for areas in other zones. So I'm gonna go up to Washington. It's actually interested in like Alki Beach area, and add those in as well. So it's always good when you're adding neighborhoods of interest to not only have where maybe they currently live, so they're staying updated on properties in their own area, maybe a step up or step down, depending on where they are in their life, or completely other areas or vacation spots where they may want to join. Everybody loves to open up something that's, you know, for, in my case, like Washington, or I just want to go to Washington. But anywho, their vacation spots, you know, if they want to go up to Connecticut, Maine, Colorado, all these other areas. So add in a couple other options in addition to where they maybe are physically based. So now that I have information in here in order to feed my smart plan, we're going to use the Smart Plans tab over here on the side and hit the Add to Smart Plan option. Now, I already have these smart plans in here. You'll see a lot of little demos in here as well. But I'm going to look for we're going to go with the monthly. My monthly neighborhood nurture. It's my first one down here. You can expand any one of these just to kind of get a preview of the plan if you've forgotten maybe what they are. This is going to send a monthly neighborhood update once every 30 days, 31 days, and update them on their property. So this one is absolutely key, or your bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. You get to choose there. Now for this particular contact, I'm just going to start it right now. In practicality, if you're getting started and maybe you haven't touched the system whatsoever, I kind of like to say, hey, choose what your cadence is going to be for the month, and maybe everybody in your monthly neighborhood nurture goes out maybe at the beginning of the month, right? So you know everybody in your contact database is getting everything about the same time. And then as you start getting a little bit more advanced and doing like a monthly newsletter or something, maybe that goes out towards the middle of the month, and you're starting to structure your cadence on how frequently you're touching your database.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What time did the emails hit?
So we talked about it a little bit. You want to check your time zone so that we aren't getting like crazy funky times. You can't specifically with the monthly neighborhood nurture specify exactly when they're going out. With your custom plans, you can say morning, afternoon, or like midday. But because this is one of the most frequently used plans, there's also kind of a queue. So we can't always guarantee exactly what time, but your time zone should help with narrowing that down. So we'll just go ahead and start now. And now, underneath our smart plans, we have that monthly neighborhood nurture and when it was last executed. So you can always come back to your contact record and see when they last received their plan. And if you schedule it to go in advance at a later date and start, you'll actually see when it's scheduled to start as well.
Is there a way to be able to see what they're seeing?
You can click on any of like the neighborhoods to see kind of like what their recent activity was, but you're not going to necessarily get a copy of their actual monthly neighborhood nurture. But if they've clicked on any of those properties and shown interest, we're going to see what they were interested in by their activity. And you're also going to, once they are being active inside of your contacts, you're going to have the opportunity at the top where you're going to see those that are recently active right here at the top based off of, activities that they've taken, links or otherwise. So if it is your first time with smart plans and you're wondering how you get started, how you get a few in your repertoire, you're going to visit your smart plans category. It looks like your little checklist with like a gear icon. And if you're ever unfamiliar what these represent, if you hit that little red KW, you'll get your drawer to slide out to the side so you can get a little bit more familiar with what each one of these represent. So within your smart plans, you are going to have your plans that have already been added to your repertoire. Got a lot in there. And then you're also going to have the library. This is where you're going to start if it's your very first time. Click into your library. You're going to see featured plans, but the Keller Williams category is where you're going to go to get that quarterly call plan that we see here, as well as your monthly neighborhood nurture, and we're going to have to go see all for the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture.
I think it was at the top.
Thank you, not reading. So there you go. So you're going to add those in. If you already have them in your library, and maybe you just didn't see them, you may see something like this where the download button is grayed out, and that means they're already inside of your library currently. So I can't download them twice. Going back to your contacts here, got my training view on, so we're not showing a whole lot of personal info. Once you're in, or you have plans inside of your library and you want to maybe take some mass action with putting people onto plans, you have that capability directly from your contacts applet. So maybe adding them one by one is not going to be the most efficient use of your time, especially if they already have neighborhoods of interest attached to them. So there's a couple things you could do in order to get them in here. Go ahead and select, well actually before we do that, check your view of how many contacts you want to see at a given time. If we're doing a bulk action with a lot, you may want to move up to that 500. So we can put 500 at a time on a plan. So with our 500 here, we can go ahead and select everybody listed here. We're going to use our actions option, and we're going to use the add to smart plan. And this is where I can put everybody on that monthly neighborhood nurture. So when you hit select, you're going to see which individuals are missing data that would allow me to actually put this plan into use.
You don't know where Ryan Reynolds lives?
I know, dang it, right? I know, Goofy, Disney, Zachary Levi, Trudy Tester. It's a hot list there. Taylor Swift's in there somewhere. Anywho, we are either missing neighborhoods of interest or we might be missing their email, both of which are required elements for me to actually send out this information to my clients. So I have a couple options. I can hit to add them to the plan anyway. Nothing will be sent, but if I add neighborhoods later, it'll go ahead and continue through. That, or I can choose to just export these individuals, have a hit list to kind of go through, know I need to complete things. For someone who likes a piece of paper or a list to follow, that may be helpful. You also have filters you can run within your own contact database to filter down and see who is missing a neighborhood, who is missing an email and do it that way. So you get to choose your own adventure, okay? So you can choose, I'm gonna hit remove contacts with that error. With a plan like the monthly neighborhood nurture, where it's all automated and I'm not having to do any work on it, it is fine if we bulk add everybody and start them at the exact same time. All good. Add them in here. You can have it scheduled like we were talking about, maybe towards the beginning of the month. And if you want to develop that cadence, that's great. Where it's going to change and get a little tricky is if I were doing a plan that had a lot of task-heavy things. So like a quarterly call plan, where it actually requires me to pick up a phone and contact humans, putting all 500 on a start now would shut you down. You're not going to do it. You're just going to shut your laptop and be like, I'm not going back into command. I'm not doing that. So what you'd want to do is use the stagger option and just choose a manageable number, right? Maybe not shoot for the stars, shoot something manageable, work your way, right? So you're going to use the stagger option if it were a task-heavy plan. Don't go that direction, but do something that you can commit to, and keep in mind this is going to continue to roll through weekends as well. So if you aren't planning on calling on the weekend, factor that in, right? That you may have some overdue tasks. So I'm not going to put them all on this, but you'll go ahead and read your TCPA disclaimer. Hopefully everybody has the right to contact your contacts. And then go ahead and hit confirm to launch that plan. Questions on smart plans, pages? How are we doing, Brittany? What do we want to cover?
I want you to cover going to the back end of the website.
Thank you.
And also the sneak peek that you gave me.
Yes.
Because that was a good one.
So along your left-hand side, you have the last clickable option, which is called websites now. It got a rebrand when we got our new, quote, Easy Bake editor. And this is to help simplify the process of you getting it just personalized enough to where it looks like you and has your information. So you're also going to notice if you happen to be on a team, you can toggle between your team account or your personal account in order to personalize both those sites. And you're going to hit your Edit Agent Site option. And they've made it so easy now, so I'm so thankful for this. It's going to walk you through going through your home page, adding in any images that you'd like. Of course, your default images are going to be in there. Mine are personalized for our area. Drag and drop, select from your computer, your choice. They are going to give you your preferred sizing there. Just think nice, broad, spacious. And I generally would just say no, to kind of stay away from like words that if your heart is set on them actually showing up exactly where you want them to. Or mine, this adapts to different screen sizes, so sometimes your search bubble is going to be covered, right? So just don't put anything crucial in there. Your headline and title, you're going to be able to change that. So let's find your dream home or something else personalized. And then your featured property categories, which I have reduced mine a little bit too much. I have to go into my advanced filters. It's going to default off of your market center address, but you can change it to be maybe more localized to your specific area. Change it up entirely. Maybe we don't want it to be called featured properties, and we want to have it something like that. Any description that you're going to want featured right below. And then the radius. Now we are going to have other options inside of our expert mode that allow us to get very granular with what we're actually showing on our featured properties. Bedrooms, bath, you already have your price points in here, but you're going to be able to say whether I only want my market centers listings to show, or maybe I only want my listings to show, right? If nothing met that criteria, the featured property section disappears and it just doesn't show anything. So it's not empty, but it just won't show. And if you did want to hide it for whatever reason, you can just click through that little hide button as well.
And there is a way to say my market center's listings, but show mine first, right?
You can pin your listings above those.
Okay, that's
so you have the opportunity with not only your listings, but maybe I'm hosting an open house for another agent this weekend. I'm going to have the ability, and this is going to be in our expert mode, which we can take a look at, how I can pin my preferred properties above everybody else's. Okay. So there we go with your testimonials too. This is just going to be the section as far as what it's called. Your blog list, whether you want to be blog or, you know, notes around town, Candace's take, whatever you want. You can rename those headlines and descriptions that are going to show on your homepage. So I'm just going to go ahead and publish to save what we've got so far. And then we're going to move into, I'll take us down to styling real quick. So styling right now, you can very quickly choose one of these color themes. Word on the street is they are going to be coming up with some other ones that are non-traditional KW colors. So I've heard like tan sand themes, possibly some like sleek navy, some greens and very like eco-friendly kind of themes. So I'm excited to see what those look like and when they come. So yes, you can choose your styling here. Underneath the add content, you can do very quick blog posts utilizing something like ChatGPT or our KWIQ, and quickly just throw in your content, drop an image in, give it a headline, a sub-headline, and a body. Now keep in mind, this is going to be your simplified version. Everything that we're using here is the simplified version, right? Easy Bake Editor, simple. You are gonna have far more options to embed your videos, all of that when we go to our expert mode. But this allows you to at least get set and accomplish most of what you need to for your agent site. I'm gonna hit publish, or not publish, sorry. X out of that, and take you just real quick to settings, since I've already gone through this, but most of you have already been set up as part of you guys still use, okay. Everyone still uses Scott Lowry marketing here, and so part of your site is basically already set up for you, and you chose a custom domain as part of that process. If you ever needed to adjust that, underneath your settings, you have the ability to change what your subdomain is here. So Candace's Homes, cyhomes.kw.com, whatever I'd like, I can make those adjustments. Keep in mind, once you give it up, it is available for others to use. Okay? So just want to throw that out there. And then you're also gonna have your app links to share for your mobile app. If you have a team, some of your team links as well, and whether or not you want those Keller services like Keller Home Loans, Keller Covered, or even the neighborhoods that we saw featured on your agent site. You can turn those on and off. Your registration here below is what we talked about earlier, how many properties they can view before they have to submit their information to you or leave your site. So you get to set that threshold. No viewing property, 2 properties, 10, and unrestricted. So between your Easy Bake Editor and your settings, you have most everything accomplished here to get your site, we'll say, presentable and customized enough for you, right? Showing your local area, that's probably the #1 key thing, is making sure that that is done. So let's just take a peek inside. We are at 3, so let me go to, do you want me to do the preview?
No, you keep going.
Okay.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, do you want me to do the preview, or do you want me to keep going into expert?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well,
all of those things.
Okay. So we'll go into expert mode real quick there at the top. And here, this may be familiar if you've been with us for some time. This is probably what you took a look at if you ever dabbled in your own site.
And then you X'd out of it because you said,
And you were like, I don't want to do it. Okay, you have some quick options. Your mortgage calculator, that property landing page that we talked about, literally you click the widget and it allows you to go ahead and choose if you're going to go ahead and publish that, add it to your menu there. Super quick and easy in order to do that. I don't want to do another property landing page, but let me go back to my home and take you down to your home page. Yeah, we'll do home page first. So the area you're probably going to want to customize further is going to be your featured properties. I changed it to say Ventura County's best, but this will be your featured properties in section 2. We have our dynamic search, which is just going to allow it to pull from a radius. And you don't really have to worry about this toggle so much as whether it's on or off. This is for some of our market centers that border like state lines so that they aren't showing some other state's property if they're not licensed. We're far enough away that we're A-okay. So max number of property display, have it at 25 with a 29-mile radius, and to sort by the most recently updated, not necessarily the new, let's see here, days on site, which would give you the newest. I like to do recently updated because it'll show if they've done a reduction in price, okay? And then need to toggle that off. That shouldn't be on, and that's why mine is hiding for my featured properties because I don't have listings. And then you have my affiliated broker or market center. And then if I need to, I'll turn that off for right now and do everybody's. But if I want to go ahead and pin specific listings above the search criteria that we've put in, I can come in and put by address or MLS number, which we'll just use 1947. Majorca. There we go, just so we can see what that looks like when we have that pinned. And then let me get into our filter. We're gonna do everything. I don't want a listing, active status, and I'll do pending if I want that. With we'll do bathrooms minimum 2, 3, and that would be why I won't do a max. How about that? Take out the max. There we go. That was messing me up. So there is my featured properties with Majorca pinned right in first place with the other search criteria here behind. So you can come and have if you have a seller who you're trying to get more views and really showcase their home, you may want to pin that property first and foremost because you'll probably get a call about it if you don't, right? So having that showcased first and foremost on your site there. Let's go ahead and save that. And save that to our agent site. So there's a lot of little goodies that you can take a look at within here further. Your vendor page is going to be in your About the Agent section, where you can, underneath the preferred vendors category, it's a little odd, but you have to follow this link that takes you to an external service where we get to add in any of our vendors. You can add them one by one just by typing in the information, or you can go ahead and add them in like in a CSV file if you'd like. So there's a couple options as you build out your vendor list, but it's going to be through this external link. Okay. And then lastly, let's just talk about those. It's going to be back under your home page just before we leave. From your clients, your testimonials. So in this particular section, it's not going to show those testimonials on your page by default. So if someone just found my site, went to leave a review, and wrote a scathing review, or even maybe a great one, neither is going to show automatically. You get to go through the process of actually setting either your criteria, newest published date, maybe the star rating. I don't want anything below a 4 to show. You get to set that threshold here in your testimonials section. So you're going to put in, whether you want that star rating, if there are specific ones that you want to pin, just like we did with our listing. You can use the little feature testimonials to click that plus button, and it's going to allow you to choose from those that have been added into or submitted on your site.
Do these testimonials need to be submitted by clients, or can we pull from other places?
I like to say pull from other places, because it's a lot to ask a client to leave a review on your Google page, on a realtor.com, on a Zillow, on your agent site. So I always just say, if you have a Google business page, I honestly think that's probably the best place to ask them to leave it, right? Because long term, those Google pages is what's going to get you more visibility and natural SEO with Google. So if you can funnel people there, have them put their reviews in, of course you're going to be notified from Google, however you have your page set up there. And then, of course, with their permission, just copy that onto your page.
How do you copy it onto your page?
So you can either create a new one here when it says select or create a new testimonial.
Okay.
I can click through there, or if I'm using my own agent site, if we go back here, I can just go to that leave a review option, and it's going to walk me through name, the review. So I'll just want to copy essentially those same details from whatever site.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we are a little over on time. Last thing I kind of want to leave you with is the option for customization. Now, our websites have a lot of features built into them for your agent search, and to be really connected with command and to get you the notifications and insight on their searches. However, I realize for many of you, a default page like this maybe isn't your look and feel. It, even with personalized images, might not be your brand, right? So there are things that other agents have done, and I'll show you Greg, for example. He's an agent up in the Central Oregon area. He essentially used it's like a Wix page or otherwise to kind of build out the look and feel of his site. He has content for sellers and buyers on here, informational pages. He still hosts his testimonials and many other things, but it has more of that traditional like real estate, look at me and my business, I'm different than others, look and feel, right? What he's doing though is anywhere where it's leveraging like new homes on market, open houses this week, things like that, he's linking back to his own agent site. So if I go to like search and we'll do new listings here, I'll just hit a search there. He links back to his own agent site to do the search. Or if he's referencing cities in Bend, Oregon, he's got some information about Bend, his video, and then search for homes in Bend, Oregon. And what do you know? He has his search set, nope, he's changed that, but set up, broke his link, but to his area in Bend. Let's go. And so he uses as a kind of a facade or a search front. And then everywhere it's referencing the search information and everything, he's linking back to something on his KW website for the actual IDX or the property. So you have something like this that you can either build out, have another company do it for you. I have not worked with them personally, but I know this is the one that he had used. I talked to their office there and what they were using, but GTS Marketing Works was the company that he had build it out. There's a lot of other pages and links. I think even Maggie Hawthorne, the Davis Hawthorne team, they were doing something like this for a little bit as well by linking back to different search criteria on their agent site and leveraging the IDX and that connectability essentially that leverages our command platform in your database, but still having something that you can really personalize and brand with a lot more creativity by using a different platform, right? Because we want to have something on at least provided by Keller Williams that's something easy to use and that doesn't need a whole lot of customization effort into it. But we realize that might not be for every agent and want to take that step further and do something a little different. So that's a question I got quite a bit with agent sites, so just wanted to share that little piece with you in case you wanted to take a look at that. Yeah. Honestly, use that one so much.
Yeah, it really is, because I pay for a QR code thing. Wow, how
now,
sad.
You might not get the tracking that
Who
you do
needs
with
it?
some of these other things, but hey, yeah. Save a buck.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Happy to.
You know, one of the things that I think is a common thing that I wanted to point out, we do get, and I think lately it's been an uptick, at least for me, I get leads from coming into my command that are from people that I don't know, and I will say 100% of the time turn out to be a scam.
Yep.
And so what I've started to do, I have like a shortcut where I respond to them just in case it's not a scam. And I say, thank you so much. Let's search for your new home. I cannot communicate through WhatsApp because that's what they're always trying to get me to do.
Yep.
But I can send you a Zoom link. Let me know if you'd like it. And then they almost always go away, or they say, let's reach out on WhatsApp. And then I say, okay, it's a scam. But other than that, we have these leads that can come into command. If they come in through an open house, if they come in through your app that you're sending them, if you're sending out links on social media, that's a really good way. Because remember, on social media, especially Instagram and Facebook, these are your people who know, like, and trust you. These are your SOI. And so if you're sending out a link to them to say, hey, check out the homes in your area, check out the open houses this weekend, check out the price reductions, check out whatever it is that you can leverage your site. And then you save it and make it so much easier. I love that site that you pulled up because I got a lot of ideas from that guy's site, because I do a lot of that kind of thing where it's like do a search one time and then save it and let's go. One of the things that I like to do, or I used to do a lot, was I would do a video every week of like what's come up new and around town. And I would just go and like look through my KW site. And I would say, oh, let's look at the pictures of this one. Oh, this is nice. Wow, this is hideous. Why would you pay that much for this house? And just like kind of talk through that. And I would utilize my KW site. And I would save that so that I didn't have to, I'm all about smarter, not harder. So I would save that search and then just pull it up again the next time I wanted to use it. So it makes it so much easier.
I was going to say, just on the spam leads thing, it's a good thing to remember, if you're not doing anything to promote or share your agent website, there's a good chance we're public entities, and anywhere where we have our public, our information listed publicly in a roster, whether it's real estate, which we are next to banking, we are in that category of top spam and fraud attacks. Just be sensible. If you haven't done anything to push it out, be wise.
Yeah, it's probably they're probably not just finding you.
Exactly.
So yes, thank you. Next week, we're talking about mastering open house success. We're specifically talking about how do we do open houses post-NAR settlement. So we will be talking about how to do it like never before. And I will be here, same place, same time, 2 p.m. on Thursday. And make sure you follow along on YouTube. And thank you again, Candace, for coming in, jumping on with us. I really value the website stuff because I know you're saying it's not really that new anymore, but even for me, I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I missed the boat on all the trainings. And so it's just good to have the refreshers because it is nice to have the easy bake, like click and go, but it is also nice to have those refreshers.
You got to choose your adventure, right?
Yes.
Either way.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. And we will see you next week. Well, I hope that helped. And remember, you're invited to join me live every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I will talk about topics that will move your business forward, and you can be there in real time asking your questions and getting them answered live. So join me in registering at the link in the description. And remember to like and subscribe so you get more videos just like this as soon as they come out. We'll see you in the next video.